Hello and welcome back to another 2 vs 2 domination game in Warhammer 3. In this one I will be playing the Beastmen led by Taurox the Brass Bull, a very tanky and generally strong melee lord for the Beastmen. I also brought this Bloodbrute Behemoth here, regeneration in melee, high weapon strength and melee attack, what's not to love. My caster is a Bray Shaman with a Law of Shadows on a Tuskor Chariot. The spells are Melkov's Mystifying Miasma and Pit of Shades. My infantry consists of 3 Goreherd, 2 with dual weapons and 1 with shields, as well as this Angor herd. My ally is playing Nurgle. His lord is an exalted Great Unclean One with Law of Nurgle. He also brought a normal Great Unclean One in support. His infantry are 2 Plague Bearers of Nurgle and 1 Exalted One. Our enemies are Khorne and the Vampire Coast. The Vampire Coast is led by Luther Harkin on his zombie dragon thing. For a spellcaster, he has this Vampire Fleet Captain with the Law of Deep on his crab. As artillery, he has the Queen Bess over here. Very strong, probably one of the strongest artillery in the whole game. The infantry of the Vampire cosplayer are a zombie pirate deckhand mob and a normal one here and one with polearms over here, as well as this deck gunner. The Khorne player has brought Scarbrand up on the high ground with some Chaos Warriors of Khorne with dual weapons. On the low ground he has 3 Forsaken of Khorne and 2 Flesh Hounds over here in the forest. Let's get into this. I immediately realized that our enemies have a lot more power concentrated here on the low ground, as the Khorne and Vampire Coast player both have units here, and I'm pretty much alone here. So I decide to go over here into the forest and wait a bit and see how the fight up here progresses, because this should go very well for the Nurgle player. Scarbrand is a strong, very strong duelist, but even he can't compete with these 2 big boys. I see the Queen Bess and summon in 2 Harpies to dive it. Not sure if I will succeed in it. I think the Vampire Coast player is aware of the fact that he needs to protect the Queen, or else it will be a lot of value lost. Scarbrand sees that he shouldn't engage overly hastily on this point against the Great Unclean Ones and all this infantry support. Luther Harkin is coming up to help Scarbrand, as well as some Forsaken are also going up. I have decided to go for point 1. It's a very nice point. If I get overwhelmed with too much of the enemy's infantry, I can just retreat into a forest, either this one or that one. Queen Bess is shooting. Goreherd are an okay target. I don't mind them dying too much, and they have this spread formation. 2 shots and this Goreherd is down to half health. Pretty devastating anyway, even if it's not too much value for the Queen Bess. These deck gunners also start shooting. Goreherds are already almost fleeing. Yes, they are broken. Cowardly Beastmen, I guess. It's okay. We have the strategic hand here, with point 1 being in our possession and point 3 as well in Nurgle's possession. Chaos Warriors of Khorne with dual weapons should do pretty good against Plague Bearers in a straight up fight, although if they're getting thrown at by these exalted Plague Bearers disgusting grenades, that will be a bit different. And also Nurgle has a lot of healing. And yeah, down here I decide to hide in this forest, as the damage of the Queen Bess is really taking a bit of a toll on me. And here it should hit. That one was a miss, for example. And other shots could easily hit the trees instead of my units. There one, yep, exactly, hits the tree. I saw the Flesh Hounds. They are running back now. Could have maybe engaged, although this Bloodbrute and Taurox are not a good fight. I really like this, these forests on this map. They're quite a nice cover from any skirmishing. Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mob and Forsaken of Khorne engaging against my Angor. The Forsaken in a one-on-one they would absolutely tear through these Angor. Another Queen Bess shot in there, but it doesn't matter. Angor are there to die anyway. That's fine. These Chaos Spawn, Taurox and the Bloodbrute Behemoth on the other hand, they will kill all of this. These Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs have polearms, but they're almost broken anyway. And a very low tier unit in general. Some crabs being summoned in from the Law of Deep caster, but he shouldn't have gone so close to these two monsters. He will get sniped out. And the crab is not fast enough to run away. 45 speed against Taurox, 64, and the Bloodbrute is just as fast. Crumbling away already. Butchers of Kolkengard engage against this summoned crab, rotting Prometheans, and should kill them off. The Nurgle player even decides to go down to point 2, sees it not being defended very well. Might lessen his power and grip on point 3 though. We will see. Oh, there's the exalted Great Unclean One. And yeah, I guess he split them up. Maybe not the best choice, as in single combat Scarbrand can probably take on either of these. Together, not so good, not such a good fight. Night Terrors coming in, butchering my gore herds. Although these are not as strong as they once were. Still a good anti-infantry unit. They just lacked the support over here. Probably a lot of stuff was just hidden in the forest for my enemy also. And I think large monsters, generally large units, have a combat debuff in the forest. Looking quite good for us at this point. We have all 3 points. Although the Khorne player really is concentrating a lot of power up here now. He summoned in his own Bloodbrute Behemoth. And Scarbrand together with the Bloodbrute Behemoth should absolutely kill this Exalted Great Unclean One, even if he is a good combatant himself. Yeah, and I think Khorne should wrestle that objective from the Nurgle player. If the healing won't be too oppressive, who knows. But then again, we also have point 2 at this point of the game. And yeah. Thought for a second to just dive into my enemy's backline now, but thought better of it. It's just too risky, they can summon in reinforcements so fast. I have this very strong leadership core here with the Butchers of Kalkengard, Taurox and the Bloodbrood, as well as the Spray Shaman. He has been dropping Pit of Shades from time to time, I think. Yeah, 800 value, that's alright. He himself doesn't cost too much. Luther senses an opportunity to snipe the Bray Shaman, but I see it and immediately send in the Butchers and all of the other big monsters. Luther needs to get out of there in a hurry. A bit too over-ambitious, wanting to snipe this caster. And he will get punished for it. Diving into my enemy's backline with these harpies. The deck gunners, I want them off the field, as they can do good damage against all our large targets here. Luther is dead. Into the dust, nothing remains. And the Bray Shaman is laughing at his corpse. You can snipe me. Up here on the other hand, yeah, the Exalted Great Unclean One also gets slapped. Not a surprise really, this is just too much melee power. And with the death of their lord, these Plague Bearers also crumble away. Still, even if this is a good victory for our opponents, they need a triple cap at this point, as we have accumulated too much points already. Night Terrors being summoned in again. This time there's not much to counter them in the vicinity, so these Goreheads will just die. No one there to help them. Just a nice feast for these Night Terrors. Pretty disgusting models, I must say, with a dislocated jaw. Yeah. Not that the Beastmen monsters are any better, to be honest. Yeah, look at these spawn. Aren't they beautiful? In a sense, I guess. This great unclean one is still alive. Scarbrand, or the Khorne player, sent down his Bloodbrood Behemoth, but didn't want to engage against mine, as it had support from the Butchers of Kalkengard and this Koroks Man-Ripper Bestigo Herd variant that has anti-large. 16 anti-large is a good amount. Pit of Shades from me on all these Chaos Warriors of Khorne with dual weapons. Should do well. Not sure where the Bray Shaman is at the moment. Oh, there he is. Probably some good value, 99 kills. Oh yeah, 2600 value almost. That's good. That's very good. He's celebrating with this little guy. Khorne players sending in more infantry. Chaos Warriors, Chaos Warriors. A strong unit that would absolutely butcher gore herds and anything unarmored really. But without support they are just not the best unit. But there we go. It's already over. Pretty fun game. I like using the forests on this map, especially with the Beastmen, as I think they get bonuses in the forest. Well, I hope you enjoyed and have a good day.